So which squid are we focusing on?
The screen squid.
Be more specifically.
Well, we're going to start up here. All right. So just to restate for the recording, all we've done is reference in our main character, our main squid, duplicated all of it, moved it up. And what I want to do is I want to name this one. This is our bridge. So I'm going to name this one bridge underscore BS for blend shape. Bridge underscore BS. And the eyes, I'm not going to worry about the eyes. If you want to rename the eyes, you can. And then going to our assignment sheet. We have happy, sad, surprised, and crazy. So I'm going to start with the first one. All right. So this character, this one up here, is going to be called happy underscore BS. And naming these ahead of time is important. Okay. You want to make sure you name these before you apply the blend shapes. But, and again, you don't have to necessarily name the eyeballs if you don't want to. That's fine. I'm not being too concerned about that. No, that's this one down here. Yep. Not the first one. No, that's, you can, but it's already named squid. What?
Which one was called bridge?
The second one. If you wish. Yeah, you can name him. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to actually create our expression. Okay. This one's going to be happy. And first thing I want to say about this is that when you're doing your blend shapes, what happens is it takes all of the vertices, which every vertex has a number. This selected vertex is number 5,675. This one's 1,032. This one's 1,007, etc. Right? And all of these vertices match up to the numbers in these vertices, which match up to the numbers in these vertices. Right? So what it does is it checks the position relative to their default position, and it says, where are the vertices on this character versus where they are in here, and how do I move these vertices to equal their position on this character, right? So you'll see that here in just a minute. The reason that I mention that is because these vertices, whenever whenever you insert an edge loop or extrude or anything like that, delete edges, things like that, whenever you do something like that, it renumbers the vertices. So when you're creating facial expressions, it's vital that you never add detail to your character. Okay? Your character should stay the exact same in the number of faces, the number of vertices, the number of edges, the number of polygons, right? Okay? All you want to do is reposition what already exists. Okay? So what I'm going to do, that's why facial topology is so important. Now, I don't have a whole lot in the way of face here. But what I can do is I'm going to activate symmetry on this because I'm making a happy face, and I'm going to do both sides of my character. So I'm going to go up here to where it says symmetry, and I'm going to go to, I believe object X is correct. Doesn't seem to be. Let's try object Z. Yep, object Z. In this case, my symmetry is over the Z left to right, okay? So anything I do to one side happens inversely on the other side, okay? And then I'm going to create a little smiley character. So I'm going to tap B on my keyboard to get some soft select activated. I'll hold it down and left click and drag to select an area. And I'm just going to, I might select a few of these faces. I'm just going to take that. I'm going to pull that up and back. Perhaps move this in a little bit. Oops. I'm just using my move tool with a soft select turned on. This right up here, symmetry. And in this case, it's object Z. So I want to make this readable. I want to make this visible. So I'm going to pull this way up and out, kind of jokerish a little bit. And whenever we smile, we get a little bit of a squint. So I'm going to take these faces on the eyelid, and with a little bit of soft select, I'm going to pull that down just a little bit.
Supposed to also grab the other side?
Yes. Tap B on your keyboard. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a squint. So I'm going to pull that up a little bit. I'll take the upper lid and pull that down a little bit. You know, a little bit of a twinkle in his eye. And I'm going to take his eyebrows here and raise them up. Maybe a little bit more fall off there. Does he look happy? And then I'm going to do something to this top of the squid because, you know, people, especially animals, express their expressions throughout their whole body. So I'm just going to select the top here and give it a big fall off. And just kind of like, I don't know, I'm going to turn off my symmetry and scale that in a little bit. And for the tentacles, I'm going to do my symmetry again. I'm going to make him do a little bit of a clap thing where he's happy. And I just want to do something with the rest of the tentacles. Again, what you do is up to you. Just as long as it reads as happy. I'm just going to move this one up. Move this one up, maybe rotate that like that. Now, you may notice actually, because of my soft select, it's grabbing the other tentacle. I don't want that to happen. So like it was actually pulling this tentacle. I don't want that to happen. So if I double click on my tool, any of my tools really, that's where my soft selection options are. Pop that open. And this has a fall off mode of volume. That means that it will reach out as a sphere of influence no matter where the part of the object is, right? Okay. I don't necessarily want that to happen, right? What I want is for this to do based on surface, right? So that will keep it local to this part of the character, to the selected part, right? So once I switch that, then I can reposition and just kind of go tentacle by tentacle. Give them a little variety. You know what I mean? So again, we haven't inserted edge loops. We haven't done any extrusions. All we've done is reposition the vertices, aka edges and faces, right? Simply to recreate this, or to create this happy little face. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and save as version 2. Now, just to demonstrate how this applies to the character, right? I'm going to do, and we're going to do this multiple times. So don't get lost. Don't get upset or frustrated or whatever. We're going to do this multiple times over the course of creating these blend shapes, right? So I'm going to select my happy character. I'm going to shift select my bridge, and I'm going to go to deform blend shape. Deform blend shape. I selected my happy, shift selected my bridge, deform blend shape. Y'all need to be writing this stuff down. All right. So what happens here, okay, I'm not going to see anything on this bridge until I go to look at my shapes. Okay, so if I go to Windows, Animation Editors, Shape Editor, Windows, Animation Editors, Shape Editor, and I pull this up, it has a slider. And it's created blend shape 1, and under that it has happy BS, which is the name of that, you know, that happy character over here. And when I slide the slider, look at him go. You can, but
or shape keys.
Yeah. So this is how this works. It's simply repositioned the vertices, and it allows you to move them over the 0 to 1 of the slider, right? And yes, you can set keyframes on the position of the slider and stuff like that for the sake of animation. Now, I have more blend shapes to do, right? Not just this happy, right? I have sad also, right? So what I can do is, since I'm going to be making more blend shapes, I'm just going to delete this one. I don't need to have it there. This is why I said we're going to be doing this multiple times, right? I just wanted to show you how it works. The last thing you do is consolidate all of your blend shapes so that they all work together, right? So we're going to create a final blend shape once we have all of our facial expressions done, right? Okay. Now, so what I'm going to do here is, now that I made sure to delete the blend shape, I turned it off. You know, he's back in his default position. same as the main character. And again, this is the bridge. I'm going to duplicate him again. And I'm going to move him up and over this way. And this is going to be our sad character. And again, where you position this doesn't matter. But you do want to keep your eyeballs in there. All right, so for this guy, I need to name this guy. This is our sad blend shape. So sad underscore BS. And I'm going to make him sad. So I always start with the mouth. Want to activate my symmetry. And I'm going to go like this. Make him nice and sad looking. I might give him a little bit of a pouty lip. Or something like that. Might give him some bags under his eyes or something. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to pull the eyelid down away from the eye. Make him a little bit sad. And give him some eyebrow furrowing. You know, you want to make it readable. And maybe do a little something with the eyelids. Turn off my symmetry. And for the top of the squid, I'm going to make it, you know, all droopy and sad. I don't know, something like that. And give him some droopy tentacles. Looks sad enough. So there's that. And again, you know, these would be attached to that guy. But I don't need to test every single one. I can test it when I'm all done. The next one is surprise. So I'm going to take this one. I'm going to duplicate it again. Move it up and over. Rename it surprise. SURPRISE underscore BS. And for this one, symmetry again. I usually have them make like a surprised mouth shape. So I kind of like go, oh. And I might bring these in to kind of create almost like a gasping mouth shape. It's going to be harder to read this than anything else. Kind of reminds me of the tree creatures in Mortal Kombat background. And I'm going to open his eyes wider because it's a surprise. Again, with this, you want to make sure that it stays touching the eyeball, right? This is actually cutting through a little bit, so I'll reposition that here in just a second and pull that up and back and pull that out a little bit. Make sure that it stays touching the eye. Again, I don't want to pull this off the eyelid, so I need to make sure that that doesn't come off. I'll extend that selection higher. Like that. And this is basically going to be like taller and thinner. Whoa, like an exclamation point. And we'll do something frazzly with his tentacles. Kind of like sharp points or something like that. You know, again, what you do is up to you. I'm doing something different than what I've done in the past. So there's surprise. Now, and again, it really doesn't matter if they overlap. It's not gonna read anything from the connection, the touching or anything like that. It's simply going to read from wherever the blend shape happens to be. Now, I'm going to save as real quick. I'm just going to show you what this looks like for now. We have one more that we're going to do, and that's crazy. And I'm going to select this one, and this one. I don't need to select the eyeballs. The eyeballs don't change shape, right? I'm only selecting the body skin. So I select all three of these. What I select last is what it's going to apply the blend shape to. So I select these three, and I shift select my bridge, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to create my blend shape again, and I'm going to open the blend shape shape editor. Again, Windows, Animation Editors, Shape Editor. And here I still have blend shape. I created blend shape 2 because I deleted the previous blend shape, which was blend shape 1. We'll rename that anyway, but that's fine. The shape editor, Windows, Animation Editors, Shape Editor. And here, if we look at our bridge, I activate surprise. There's that. If I activate sad, there's that. If I activate happy, there's that. right? So we have 3 expressions on one blend shape. And here's the cool thing. We can combine them. Our crazy is going to be a blend of both surprise and happy. So I'm going to activate surprise. I'm going to activate happy. And this is what our crazy is going to look like. So all I have to do here is activate them both, select the geometry, duplicate it, move it off to the side, and rename it crazy underscore BS. Now, what you want to be careful of is when you activate 2 blend shapes, you have the possibility of geometry folding in on itself, right? It's possible, I didn't have any this time, but it's possible that you could get, as an example, something like this, where your 2 blend shapes together don't match. Okay, they don't mesh well. It causes them to overlap, right? You can also see it if you if I were to hyper drive any of these shapes, right? If I take happy and set it to 2 instead of 1, you can possibly get some of that, overlap there. Or if I set it to 5, you can really see it. This is what I'm concerned about, right? Overlapping geometry like this, right? I don't recommend setting anything to 5 when it comes to blend shapes, obviously. But I'm just doing this for the sake of showing what that looks like. When you have geometry folding across itself, it looks black, right? So you don't want that to happen when you blend your happy and your surprise together, right? So if you see that, it's fine that you keep it as a whole, but fix those problems, okay? It's just a matter of, taking those faces that are the offending faces and moving them back out to the right side. You know what I mean? Okay. So watch out for stuff like that. No, because you're taking these faces that are facing correctly and you're moving them past each other. They're still facing the right way. No, what you need to do is you need to take the offending faces that are past each other and just make them close to each other instead of past each other, right? So they can still be like moving that direction and in this crazy pose, but wherever they've crisscrossed, and it's usually at the tips of the tentacles and stuff like that, wherever they've crisscrossed, you have to pull them back so that they're not crisscrossed, right? Yeah, you don't want to invert the faces at all. What's up, Dan? I was just gonna message you, but your character from CG Modeling 2, can you email me his turnaround? I would love to demo from him. Yeah, just the turnaround of your T-pose, right? Your city dweller. Yeah. I lost where that file is. It's probably at home on my computer somewhere, but I enjoy modeling that character, so I'd like to do that again. Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I was just thinking about it this morning, and I was like, I should email Dan, see if he can send me that character. So we're doing squids. Yep. So this is how you create your crazy. Now, I have to delete my blend shape again. It doesn't matter how many times. Like you can delete your blend shape 300 times. It's your final blend shape that's going to be applied. That's going to be your final layout, right? Okay. So I deleted that blend shape again. And I have my surprise, my sad, my happy, my crazy, and all of their respective eyes. I recommend, you don't have to do this, but I recommend just grouping these so you know which eyes go to which characters. So I'm just going to group these. I'm going to call this one crazy BS underscore GRP. This is going to be surprise BS underscore GRP. This is going to be sad BS underscore GRP. There's happy. Again, control D to group. Happy BS underscore GRP. These ones are for the bridge. Bridge BS underscore GRP. And then the last ones are the main character. And I can just call that squid main underscore GRP. Right? He's not the BS because he's the main character. Now, to create our final blend shape, we select, again, all the expressions, shift select the bridge. Now for this one, I'm actually going to keep this open. I'm going to keep the shape editor open. You can create a blend shape within the shape editor. You don't have to go to the deform menu, right? That, like I've said, Maya has a million different ways to do a million different things, right? So I can go to deform blend shape and create that way. I can also create blend shape here. But if I go to the blend shape options, I can actually give the blend shape node a name, right? You can also do it after the fact, but I want to do this before, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a name, and it's going to be emotions underscore BS node. Emotions with an S, right? So this is my emotions blend shape node, right? This is what the actual blend shape sliders are going to be attached to. And I'm going to click apply, right? So now I have emotions BS node, and I have surprise, sad, crazy, and happy. There's surprise, there's sad, there's crazy, there's happy, and that's how they all look turned on at the same time. That's pretty nutty. I didn't actually have anything overlap. That's not bad. I might have, nope, I might use that as my crazy. That's pretty fun. All right, so there's that. And you can turn on and off the blend shape node itself, right? So you can go straight from that super nutty, fully activated blend shapes, right? So now from here, we need to attach our bridge to our main character. So I'm going to select the bridge, shift select the main character. I'm going to name this one, not emotions, but bridge BS node. And this one I'm going to click create because I don't need to do it again. So technically, we're going to have two blend shape nodes, one for the bridge and one for the emotions. Okay. Now, people always ask, well, why don't you just go directly to the main character? Well, while I'm animating, I might have some partially driven, posed blend shapes to create, the shape that I want, right? And I'm in the middle of animation, but let me turn on my bridge, right? But for whatever reason, I need to make some changes to my character, and I don't want to lose what I've done in my animation. I just want to pose him back to his original default pose. So I turn off the bridge and he's back to his normal pose, but I didn't lose the expression that I've, dialed in so delicately and taken forever to get just right. You know what I mean? And then when it's all said and done, I've made my changes. I can turn it back on and keep going. All right, so that's what the bridge is for. All right, so I'm going to turn these off for now. I'll leave the bridge on though, just the expressions off. All right, so I'm going to save as version 5. Now what we do, and we probably won't be able to get through this now, but we have until Thursday to get this this entire setup done. And the facial expressions is really, really quick and easy. What we're going to do now is we're going to set up controls, sliders that control these blend shapes for our main character, because we don't go into the shape editor and animate on the shape editor. Everything is controlled by controls. So I'm going to create a NURBS primitives circle. Did it create? I think I missed it. There it is. And this is a huge character, so I'm going to scale that up. I'm going to rotate that forward 90 degrees. Perfect. Scale that down a little bit. And I'm going to create a NURBS primitive square, which we haven't done before. I'm going to scale that up. Move that over. Rotate that 90 degrees. Scale that down. And scale it up this way. Like this. This is going to be off. This is going to be on. Right? Off, on, off, on. We're creating a little interface. Now, something that I've mentioned in the past is all NURBS objects are curve-based, and every curve has a starting point and an ending point, right? Remember me saying that? Even on a circle, right? I did this with the jaw control last assignment. Every NURBS object has a starting point, and it goes around and comes to an ending point. This square is no exception. However, in their infinite wisdom, they decided not to have it cut a 90-degree corner and cut a 90-degree corner and cut a 90-degree corner and have the start and end be here, because NURBS objects are organic objects. Cutting those hard corners is more difficult for a NURBS object. So what they did was they grouped it, and under that group, they have 4 individual pieces that are straight. That's a lot easier to deal with. However, when I'm selecting my interface and I want to move it around, I don't want to have to select all these individual pieces. I want to select one part no matter where it is and have it select the whole thing. So there's a little trick I'm going to show you guys. This is probably going to be the last thing I'm going to be able to show you before we go over the assignment sheet. And I'll probably get a video out to go over the rest of this, just so that you guys can have this more than just an overnight for turning it in with the controls. So there's a trick you can do. And actually, I lost my command line. Oh, come on, really? It's just supposed to be down there. There. Okay. So you guys have this command line down here. Probably looks the same where it says mel on the left side, and it has the result, right? What they call the console on the right side. Whatever is typed in over here shows the result over there, right? Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select one of these. It doesn't matter which one. And I'm going to hit, you'll notice I've selected the shape node, right? By default, NURBS curve, bottom NURBS sphere or square 1, right? And if I hit the down arrow, it will select the actual shape. Okay, so this is technically, this is the transform node. If I hit the down arrow, it selects the actual shape. Okay, now what you'll notice, okay, on any of these is that actually I'll show you this here. I'm going to show you the NURBS. This is the NURBS square, the piece, right? And they have the shape and they have the transform node, right? Or vice versa. That's the shape. Yeah, that's the transform node. This transform node, or actually that's the creation history. Every transform node has one shape node by default. It doesn't have to be that way. A single transform node can have multiple shape nodes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the shape node of this object and put it under the transform node of another object. So again, select the, I know I'm going into a lot of back and forth, but select one of these, hit the down arrow, shift select another one. And type a command. Parent space -R space -S. Okay, this is a relative parenting, just like when you hit P, but it's only parenting the shape node, not the entire object. Okay, so I'm going to take this command. I'm going to copy that. I have selected my first curve. I hit the down arrow, shift select something else, and type that command right down here in this little mel line, right? I can copy and paste it also. I hit enter, and what it's done is it has parented both shape nodes under that one transform node. And as a result, I'm left with an empty transform node. You can see a little parallelogram with an arrow. This is an empty transform node by itself, right? What I have now is two shape nodes under this right NURBS square object, right? So then I select the next one. I hit the down arrow. I shift select the same piece. And I type that in again, or you can hit the up arrow in your little script editor down here, and that will bring back the last command that you typed, right? Hit enter, boom, right? I select it, it selects all three. Do the last one, hit the down arrow, shift select any of these. Hit the up arrow here, parent -R -S, hit enter, and now they are all under the same thing, okay? You want to do this before you do any grouping, before you parent objects to each other, and things like that, right? Okay? So now I have this right NURBS square 1, which houses all four sides. I'm going to shift P to unparent it from its original creation group, or transform node, which is technically what a group is. And I don't need these anymore, so I can delete that. And now I'm left with just the shape. And this is going to be the box for my happy slider. So I can name that happy slider box underscore CTRL. And this is going to be my happy slider underscore CTRL. I go ahead and freeze my transformations and delete my history. I'm going to save as because we've run out of time. And I'll continue going over this some more. I do want to go over the assignment sheet though. And if y'all can, CJ, can you pass these out while I talk about this? Appreciate it. All right. So, and I'll have the assignment sheet attached here also. I haven't done that. So this is due Thursday. We're going to continue this either through the video or on Wednesday or both, right? Learn how to create and use blend shapes. Read the introduction to the book in pages 85 to 92. Follow the lecture in the class. Create the blend shapes and the controls for the rig. Again, do as I did in the video, not necessarily 100% by the book, right? Or in the lecture, the video of the lecture and all that stuff. Place the geo in its proper place in the hierarchy. We haven't really done a whole lot of hierarchy. We'll do that before we finish. It says you have to skin your character. There's no skinning. I don't know why I haven't removed that yet. I'll remove that. Name your controls. Maya project directory, Maya scene file, your rubric breakdown. Blend shapes are working for 1, maximum 15 points total. Created working controls for the blend shapes for 1. Created the happy shape for 2. Sad for 2. Surprise for 2. Crazy for 2. Unnecessary history is deleted. That's mostly on the controls. For 1, scene file named properly for 1. Oh, I put that in there twice. What did I do? Oh, shapes are named. The names are in the node, and there's only one node is what that should be for 1. Sorry, I'll fix that. All the objects in the scene are named for 1, and ask and answer questions for 1. Right, so maximum 15 points. I'll fix the rubric, but it's an addition. Oh, here it is. All shapes are named. Oh, I must have had a sub description on there. Oops. Okay. There it is. Anyway, maximum 15 points. I'll finish this up and I'll get the assignment sheet attached like now. And we'll continue us through the video and or on Wednesday. This is the command just to show that again. And that's it. Have a great day. So yeah, I'll probably have the video done prior to Wednesday, which means Wednesday we'll just be working on it. That's right. No lecture on Wednesday. What? That doesn't mean don't come to class. Have a great day.
Hey, Mr. Ben Park.
Yep.
Yeah, could I send you something that I done yesterday?
Sure.
All right.
You're good.
Oh, I'm doing all right. How are you?
Busy. Busy and recovering from my wisdom teeth.
Oh yeah.
I thought I wouldn't even be here today, but I was feeling better the next day. So
Yeah, I kind of thought you'd be okay. I'm glad you're okay.
everybody's like, "Oh, you'll be out for like a couple days." I was like, "Yeah." After 8 hours, that was kind of good. So my sister came to